But I do what I think is right. No, I don't get. You don't like it? Tough shit.
For clarification, I'm not an auditor. I'm a quality control expert, Mike. So coming out here today, this event has been scheduled at a private business. Now, Mike Chitwood, unfortunately, Sheriff of Volusia County, he is well known, and I've seen many examples. He's demonstrated to me to just completely be against anything that he doesn't control. If he doesn't control a narrative or any kind of communication, whatever it is, if he doesn't like it, he's not having it. That's why he'll call you names if you email him a question that you don't like or that he doesn't like. He'll call you a coward or swear at you, whatever it is. So there's a good chance, we know this is one of the first things we talked about, there's a very good chance that they will ask the owners or whoever runs this establishment, they will have them ask us to leave. I expect that will happen, and we've discussed that we expect it won't take very long for that to happen, because Mike is not going for life to be asked tough questions. So we came out here today, this is a public service, to this establishment in DeLand, Florida, the Elusive Grape, to greet Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood. Mike Chitwood is having a meet and greet here where he is welcoming us to come in and speak to him, ask him questions. So we're going to come in and try to ask him some questions and see how that goes. So Mike Chitwood has scheduled this event as part of his re-election attempt campaign. Unfortunately, most people only see the Mike that they see on TV, the one that he wants them to see. Because we aren't wearing I Love Mike t-shirts, I don't think we'll be able to stay very long. While there are many things, there are just two questions we're going to try to get out. First, in reference to his alleged endorsement by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. We're going to ask him to confirm that and then congratulate him. And ask him if he knows how we can confirm it, because unfortunately so far, the only evidence anywhere that we can find of this endorsement or alleged endorsement is on Mike Chitwood's own Facebook page where he makes the claim. Agencies that track and keep track of these endorsements, including the governor's office, seem to have no record of it. So that's something we're looking into. But also, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know I've been looking into something else with the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, where the assignment of court services seems to, not in all cases, but in some cases, be used as discipline for deputies who mess up or get in trouble. They send them off to the courthouse instead of actual punishment where they can control them better. I've emailed Chitwood to ask him this, confirm or deny if it's used as discipline. He won't answer, nor will his second in command, Brian Henderson, who you're going to see standing right next to Mike, as well as their PIO and public records. No one wants to answer that question. I know for a fact it is used as discipline, but I want to see if they'll lie about it.
Yeah.
Who could be confirmed endorsement?
For the governor's office. Yep.
I was wondering if you I heard from a source inside the sheriff's office that the courthouse duty is being used as a punishment. Can you
tell me who your source is, and I'll confirm or deny that.
Is the courthouse detail used as discipline?
Nope.
It's not.
No.
Definitely not. Okay.
All assignments are the purview of the sheriff. That's under the contract. Right. So the sheriff makes, I tell you where you're going to work. You don't tell me where you're going to work.
Right, yeah. But if I had, so it's definitely not used as discipline, the court service.
You work where I send you to work.
Right.
And I have professional law enforcement officers. I put professional law enforcement in places where they're going to succeed.
Right. But it's not used as discipline.
I'll say it for the fourth time, okay?
First off, Mike, that's the third time. Slow down on the drinks. We're going to pause here just for a second to go over a couple things so far. You heard him. He did confirm that he alleges to have an endorsement from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. But it was odd. It was almost like he was caught off guard. And when we said, hey, we hear you have this endorsement, he just says, yep. Odd response for someone holding this event, trying to campaign for re-election. And from my observations, it's my opinion that he appeared at least slightly intoxicated. And this is a wine bar, and this was only 5:15 in the afternoon. And he seemed very edgy, very angry, almost like he's ready to snap, simply for being cordially asked questions that he may not like. Watch as the deputy chief, the second in command, Brian Henderson, stays right on top of him. It's my opinion he was holding a leash, damage control, trying to make sure he doesn't do anything really stupid. And he shows his mentality. I'm in charge here. Nobody tells me anything. I make the rules here. I tell people where to go. And he did officially say no, that the courthouse is not used as discipline. And his first response when asked about that, when we told him people from inside the department say that it is used as discipline and punishment, His first thought is, tell me who your source is. Is retaliation the first thing that comes to his mind? He also says, tell me who your source is and then I'll confirm or deny it. So instead of just saying the truth, first tell me what you know. How can you have honest law enforcement officers when someone like this leads the entire department?
I have professional law enforcement officers, and I decide where I'm going to put round pegs in the round holes.
What was the name of the professional law enforcement officer that was busted in his?
What are you trying to do?
In his car? We're trying
I'm
to
just
get
trying to
to
ask
the bottom
a
of some
question.
issues.
Yeah,
that
you're
we have.
reporting it. I mean,
Yes,
you want to be...
absolutely.
Make a public records request.
Well, I've
Do you guys
emailed you.
comply with those? You follow the statutes? You do?
We follow the law. Make a public records request.
Follow the law.
So I have filed that request, and I've emailed both of you. I've emailed and called.
What's your name?
Andrew Gant. Alex.
Alex what?
Alex. I didn't give my last name.
What's that?
I didn't give my last name.
Okay.
No, in the email, I didn't give my last
So
name.
what do you need?
That
He wants his
question.
public records request
That
responded to
question.
professionally.
I said, I even sent you a nice email too about it. You responded with name calling.
Professionally. Gotcha.
If a citizen has a legitimate concern and emails you, do you treat the concern as legitimate or do you name call and gaslight?
I do what I think is right.
I say you.
What is right?
I do what I think is right.
But what is right?
I do what I think is right. So we'll stand here for 2 hours. I do what I think is
But
right.
that's not the answer.
That is the answer.
That's
That's not the answer you want,
Well, it's
but
not
I
the
do what I
answer.
think is right. No, I don't get. You don't like it? Tough shit.
I sent you a pretty cordial email just asking for a response on something. You called me a coward. But hey, but that question, you said you were asking what I was trying to get
I don't
answered.
talk to you.
Is the courthouse used as discipline?
We told you no.
No, so that's the official word, right? No? So if I had it in writing from the sheriff's office that it is used as discipline, who would be lying to me? The person that wrote that document or you? So now, both Sheriff Mike Chitwood and Deputy Chief Brian Henderson of the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, number 1 and number 2, in command of the entire department, have both alleged that no, the courts are not used as discipline. Everybody knows that they do, and I had a feeling they would lie about it and they would say no, because they probably think, hey, how can this fool prove that we're lying? He can suspect all he wants, but he's got no proof. But while investigating something else, they sent me this document. This is from another story that you'll see soon, where a deputy, while working, was caught and admitted to driving under the influence of alcohol and narcotics. It's rough too. Wait till you hear the whole story. That deputy driving the department vehicle, the people's vehicle, was not fired, was not charged, didn't receive any citations. But in writing from the agency, part of their discipline was a transfer from their current assignment to, you guessed it, court services. It says right there, part of your discipline, here, your discipline is as follows. And then one of the listed things is a transfer to judicial services, court services. So if they both just told us the truth there, and they do not send troubled deputies to the courts as discipline, why do they have it in writing that they do use it as discipline? Honesty, transparency, and accountability is clearly an issue with leadership at this department, specifically with Mike Chitwood.
Who would be the liar there? Do you know?
Excuse me, frauditors, for a second.
So Mike just called us frauditors. And let me explain something to you real quick. To me, that's such a stupid and cringy word. Every time I've ever heard it or seen people use it, it's just very cringy. I guess it's the best thing that they could come up with to call people who don't allow law enforcement to just do as they please. People in that blue line and those who lick it think that police should not be held accountable. They shouldn't be transparent. And anyone who seeks it is a frauditor, I guess. It's just such a stupid word to even say. But Mike, as he does, he just runs with things that he hears or sees. He hears other people use it online, so he's like, hell, I'll use it too. But name calling is what you get from Mike, unless you lick his boot. But as he does it, he also smacks the arm and camera of this is a public service. I wonder what would have happened if he or I did that to Mike. Probably nothing, right? Probably it would be acceptable. I mean, it's only battery under definition of the law. That's the fraud of a sheriff. There we go. Hey, Mike.
You see everything going on?
Hey, just for clarification.
Don't watch the red. Doing good.
For clarification, I'm not an auditor. I'm a quality control expert, Mike. Quality control, that's all. I just want to clarify, I'm not an auditor, just quality control. I don't care what you are. Yeah, no, I know, I don't care what you are. Just quality control, that's all. Now, Brian follows Mike to the bathroom, like I said, to keep that leash tight, probably. And I don't know what he's going in there to do, but he's not in there long enough for a number one and a hand washing. And he's shaking a lot of hands, just saying. But this is how a citizen gets treated, simply for asking questions. I know it's shocking and seems cowardly, but right now members of Team Chitwood are getting with management to have them ask us to leave. We'll see that in a moment. Some of you might say, well, that's soliciting a trespass. They can't do that. Technically, you'd be correct, but this is Mike Chitwood we're talking about. He can do whatever he wants. And don't you dare notice or say anything about it. He just might retaliate. More on that later. You wash your hands? Hey, did you make sure you wash your hands? You fall into the bathroom? Oh, yeah.
It was TJ Maxx. Why'd you buy it?
Last time we talked, we were in the live band, whatever, on your side of it.
Yeah.
That was nice of you. They raised a lot of money.
That's good. That's good stuff. Thanks for coming to the Land.
Hey, fellas, how are you doing? Good. Here. Hey guys, I just heard we just need you guys to step out. We heard that there's going to be some inconveniences going on. We don't want any trouble.
Oh, yeah,
so I'm just going to ask you guys to escort out if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Thank you so much.
We were just asking, just so you know, I just cordially, politely trying to ask a question. That was all.
I believe
but
it.
I respect you, and absolutely, and I expected that to happen.
Thank you guys for understanding.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you. Yep.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yep, be on our way. We have to go. Yeah. Hey, Mike, best of luck to you. Take care. Is it just him and I?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So is it just because we were asking questions?
I was just told that it was an inconvenience, guys, and I'm really sorry about that.
No, we understand. It's your property.
He didn't like.
You should be able to ask questions, though.
I agree.
It's important to ask questions.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you guys.
Yeah, okay.
Take care. So it appears Team Chitwood went crying to management saying that we were causing an inconvenience for Chitwood. I imagine for him it would be inconvenient if someone seeks truth or accountability. Well, I think we made it about 7-8 minutes.
I think so, yeah.
What do you think? The Sheriff Chitwood, Mike Chitwood there, who's running for re-election this year, clearly didn't like the questions that we're asking.
He does not like questions.
He doesn't like
That's
questions.
clear.
My impression from him is that he doesn't like any conversation or any narrative that he isn't in direct control of.
I would agree. Yeah, unless it's just bootlicking,
Unless, absolutely. Yeah.
because and really, I think what he was saying in there is he makes his own rules, and that's it.
He does, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
The rules are up to him, and the law be damned is the
does-
idea I got from it.
He does what he wants. Not what you, as a voter, as a citizen, wants him to do. He does what he wants. I sent Mike Chitwood an email later this day, just pointing out that he's always quick to call people coward. He said it to me and many other people. Why, I don't know. But I just wanted to point out that it's ironic that someone who so frequently calls people coward, that they would do things like have people removed from an establishment who you invited to ask questions to you because you don't like the questions that they're asking you. And they're even doing it cordially and politely. And that it seems to me cowardly to speak only to media outlets who you have some sort of or some form of control over or control the narrative. He responded to that email, of course, by calling me a coward, but interestingly, using my legal name in all caps. This is a feeble attempt that we've seen before. It's supposed to be intimidation. I'm supposed to either be impressed or intimidated that he knows my name. While I'm actually shocked that he just now learned it, I assumed he long knew it, but this is this guy's mentality. He wants to intimidate the public, like a dictator. Mike Chitwood, previously sent me an email asking me for my name, phone number, and address. Said, then maybe we'll talk. Another feeble attempt at intimidation. It's supposed to be threatening. And I've showed you some of these emails in the past. Here's a doozy, for example. I sent him a very cordial email, genuinely asking for his response on this Senate bill, something that should go into law in January, and some valid public concerns. And his response to that email, and he didn't even know who he was talking about. I used a different email address for that one, just in case I wanted him to think it's just a regular citizen. But that response just didn't match up. I read that and I was like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? It was the same response others had. That's what he thinks of the citizens. That's what he thinks of you. You, who he wants to vote for him. Do stay tuned. There's more to come on Chitwood and this alleged endorsement from the Florida governor. Now, if that's false, there are penalties for that. One of the penalties include removal from the ballot. But the endorsement must be true, right? Why would he lie about that? Why would he lie about anything? Surely he doesn't lie. Your own eyes and ears deceive you. And why would members of his own department and high-ranking members of other departments in the county contact me and say, hey, awesome job, keep it up, but watch out, he's a dangerous guy? Why would someone who's doing nothing more than asking questions and seeking accountability have to watch out? Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications, check out some other videos, and stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. Now everybody should form their own opinion, and unlike Mike, I respect yours, even if it dares be different from my own. But I'll share with you my opinion of Mike, that's shared by many who look into the real Mike, ignoring media Mike, who sings and dances in front of the TV to portray what he wants you to believe. Mike is a very old school cop, who I imagine has used the term crack skulls many times. Mike is the type that can't stand that people now record police interactions. Can't stand that people know and stand up for their rights. He liked it when you could tell anybody to do anything he wanted them to do, and they damn sure better do it, because he's the police. And if you don't, there's going to be hell to pay and charges fabricated. What the cop says goes. Mike cannot stand people policing the police, but most would agree there's a need for that. Mike has told me that I hate the police. He said this simply because I hold a camera while I speak. Those of you who have been here for a while, you know I don't hate the police. And only a tyrant tells me that I hate the police. And there's a reason for that. That's because in the mind of a tyrant, policing is tyrannical. And it is true, I do in fact hate tyrannical policing. So in that sense, Mike, you're absolutely right. And many people are with me. This old school, good old boy network mentality has to go. The people won't stand for it. He's got the senior community fooled because many of them believe the TV. The TV doesn't lie to them in their minds. But Mike does. Like I said, there'll be much more to come. Make sure you hit those notifications. And I'll leave you with a kind of a little funny story. I see people in some of the comments of the videos that feature Chitwood or his antics. People from across the country. I noticed someone, I think in Canada, calling him Shitwood in the comments. But they didn't seem like they were trying to be funny. Now that is a nickname some people within Florida who don't care for him will use for him. But I thought it odd that these other people are using it and they don't really seem like they're using it in a negative way, almost as if they're saying that's his name, S-H-I-T, Wood. And someone clarified that they thought that was actually how you spelled his name. And I realized that for some people who may have Spanish as their first language, and they hear me say Chitwood, that it must be S-H. Much like you've heard someone say, hey, better tie your shoelaces, your shoes are untied, and they know that those words are S-H words. So if they pronounce shoes as choose, they know it's S-H, but I'm saying Chitwood, so it must be S-H. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. Sure, somebody will get a laugh, while the others will think it's completely stupid. Either way, get into the comments and let me know what you think of that Chit.